Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today from the Fitchburg Fire Department is your friend, my friend, Adam Dorn. Dorn, how you doing today, sir?
Great. How are you, Jeremy?
I'm doing wonderful. You're everybody's friend. Did you know that?
I did. Just because you're friends with everybody. So
I that's what I try to be. Try to meet new people and make lots of friends. And today we're going to talk not about friends, but about fireworks. And that's just the toughest transition to make right there. Friends to fireworks. Fireworks safety, a serious topic indeed. And first and foremost, Dorn, what's the rule in Fitchburg for fireworks?
the most basic, simplest way to explain this is that if the fireworks leave the ground, as in it goes up into the air and explodes or whatever, if it leaves the grounds, it is illegal. Do not use them. Or you need to have the appropriate licenses, permits to do that kind of fireworks.
So you're telling me that I can't do any of the tubes, any of the multi-shooter, you name it, it goes in the air and repeats. That's out.
Right. Yeah. No mortars, that kind of stuff, unless you have the permits and you have everything lined up with fire department and the city and everybody else. All those things need to be in place before you could use something like that.
All right. Well, in all seriousness, there's a good reason for that. And certainly fireworks cause a lot of issues, not only on the fire end of things, but from scaring animals to burns to you name it. It can be a dangerous time. And from past talks, I know this conversation through and through, Dorn. I know what you're going to say, but we'll start with during this season, what from the fire department standpoint, what safety measures would you suggest people take here as far as safety in fireworks?
The biggest, easiest thing that we can suggest is to let the professionals handle the fireworks. People over the years, every year get hurt, injured. They lose their hands, sometimes their limbs when it comes to the use of fireworks. And we don't want to see that. We don't want to have anybody getting hurt in our city, in our state, anywhere. We want you to be safe. So please let the professionals handle the fireworks.
And talking on a professional standpoint, if a company is hired and comes out in Fitchburg, wherever that is, it's been a while since we've had some, but when they do come out, what are some of the things that that professional company does? And what do they do to work with you guys as well, as far as coming into the city? So kind of set us up here that there's a lot of pre-planning that goes into this. And what does that look like?
Great question, Jeremy. Like you said, there is a lot of pre-planning that does go into an event like this. So what has to happen is that they have to apply for a permit through a city for a pyrotechnics display, which is fireworks. And then on top of that, they have to provide that they have insurance and all the other legalities are met in whatever the requirements are for that type of fireworks display. That's just from the city end. And then the fire department gets to look at it and we say, okay, are they meeting all the regulations that are put in place by the local, the state, and the national standards that, if they're going to be putting on a display, they need to make sure that the area where they're lighting the fireworks off is so far away from other areas, what's going on, that kind of stuff, where they're storing them. All of that plays into a huge safety net, you could call it, that we make sure is put in place before the event is ever given the green light to move ahead. Not only do we look at it, I know the police department will look at it for safety issues on their end. Building inspection may be involved depending on where they want to do things, right? So it's not just the fire department, but the whole city kind of comes together and says, okay, is this safe for our city? Is this safe for the people that are going to be spectating, watching this, and is it for the people that are actually lighting off the fireworks? All of those little things come into play, and there is a big list that everybody has to go through to make sure that everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, that's I think backs up your statement about leaving it to the professionals. A lot of things go into it for safety, and I don't think fireworks and safety really go together. I don't think there's a firework that you can really say is safe, no matter what it is, even down to the sparklers, which is definitely another topic that's really focused on during this time. What's the problem with sparklers overall?
Well, when you look at sparklers, sparklers burn at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. That is warmer than what it takes to melt a glass. Melting glass takes about 900 degrees. Wood burns at about 575 degrees. When you bake a cake or bake something in the oven, it's roughly 350 degrees. And you can boil water at 212 degrees. All of those things can burn you. But now when you look at sparklers, that's 1200 degrees. When we wear our turnout gear, our turnout gear actually does not even protect us at 1200 degrees. I mean, the sparklers could burn right through a turnout gear and we could be injured if we're not careful. At 1200 degrees, metal starts to elongate, it starts to misshape, right? It just changes its shape and everything else. So think about, you're giving a little kid a sparkler that's burning 1200 degrees and you're expecting them to hold it in their hand. Well, who knows what's going to happen, right? We don't want the little ones or anybody to be holding on to sparklers and have an issue, because what's the first thing that happened? What would your first reaction, Jeremy, be if you had something hot fall on your hand, one of the sparks fall on your hand as you're holding the sparkler? What would you do?
Well, I would probably drop the sparkler if I had it in my hand right away, drop it on the ground, and boy, I'd probably burn myself even worse. I don't know. I think it would lead to other uh, fire risks. I think from burning you or somebody else around you.
Yeah. Me personally, I think I might probably kind of do one of these to try and, get rid of it, get it out of my hand and not just drop it, just go like this. And exactly, who knows where you're going to launch that sparkler? And it's not just going to go out, it's going to continue to burn until all of the stuff on the sparkler that burns, causes the sparks, is gone. So there's no real good way to extinguish those. So if you have it in your hand and you toss it, where does that land? What else does that catch on fire? I mean, there's all these different things that play into it. Just one of the many reasons why sparklers are not a great idea, even though they seem so safe, right? But it's a huge, huge, it accounts for a lot of injuries that are seen throughout the month of July, around the July 4th timeframe in hospitals and emergency rooms. So.
Yeah, it's very true. Top on burns there for all ages, not just kids. I mean, but you tend to use these in lieu of something else, and I think that's why there's more burns on that one, because it's deemed maybe the safest firework. And again, that's where I go back and say there really is no safe firework, no matter which way you look at it. Finally, Dorn, we know people are gonna partake in it. We know, I mean, it is what it is. And so as far as your final message here as we close out today for people keeping safe and preventing fires, I would have actually talked more about with the drier conditions prior to all the rain. We would have been having, I think, a different discussion here this year because of the dry conditions, but it's definitely been raining. That still doesn't rule out the fact that there could be fire started by this, but either way, leave us with your final thoughts as far as fireworks and safety this year.
Big thing, like we said, we started their segment with it. Leave the professionals to do the fireworks displays. If you want to do something at home, try using glow sticks. Glow sticks are a great safe alternative to a sparkler, and they're a lot of fun. The kids love them. Try using noisemakers instead of sparklers or other types of fireworks devices. Set up an outdoor movie night, maybe with a screen and projector. Don't forget your bug spray, because you'll probably need that now. But right, silly string. You can do different crafts with the family and whatnot. Another one that I heard of recently was throwing a birthday party for the USA, which I thought was kind of a cool way to do that and have a cake. Don't need to have candles on the cakes necessarily, because that's another whole issue that we could talk about with the use of candles. But use your fireworks appropriately if you are going to get them. And when you are done, after they have been lit off, put them in a bucket of water and let them sit there overnight. Let them sit in the water so that everything is completely soaked, so you don't have an issue with a possible rekindle or some sort of a fire starting later on. And do not throw them in your garbage right away.
Yeah, and we are not by any means endorsing that you use fireworks or anything, and leave it to the professionals. But we also know that people are going to do it. So, if you're going to partake, you got to take every single precaution necessary, and definitely to avoid fire. I definitely know that from past experience. Definitely want not past firework. Well, we'll just leave it at that. Use a bucket of water. You need to have that. I came out wrong. All right, Dorn, I appreciate your time, and certainly more resources online about firework safety and whatnot. But again, Dorn, one more time, firework law basic is?
If it goes up in the air, it is illegal and you need a permit for it. So if you don't have that permit and something's going up in the air, don't use it.
There you go. All right, Dorn, thank you so much for your time. As always, stay safe out there. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Jeremy. Have a good one.
You as well. Adam Dorn, Fitchburg Fire Department. Again, check the website for resources. A lot of great resources out there exactly in this. And yeah, I like the throw a birthday party for the country. I think that's a really cool idea. Well, take a break. Continue next right here on Talking Fitchburg.